Hi all, this is Dr. J at 11 coming to you live, streaming live from Long Island, New York. Hopefully we'll have a better October than we did in September, and that we'll have some really big successful days of trading, weeks of trading, months of trading, right through the end of the year. I expect this to be a very, very bullish market. So far, it's living up to my expectations in all save one stock, and that was a biggie to me. That's Geron Corporation, which was more or less a disaster, although it still has potential. We'll talk about Geron. We'll talk about a few other stocks, Cytokinetics, Oncosec, and the IBB, the Biotechnology Index. It's an ETF rather than an index, but it follows the index. We have 3 viewers. Why don't you say good morning so I know who you are? If you want to chat something in, it's 4 viewers. I could at least say good morning to the viewers who are watching me live. Before I go take a look at the charts. In the meanwhile, I'll do some housekeeping, do your own due diligence, consult with an investment advisor. My opinions are my own and do not constitute investment advice. Occasionally, Dr. J does have some good ideas. And if you can pick out which one of my ideas are good to follow, well, good for you, but follow at your own risk. All the stocks I talk about, I'm bullish and have a position in unless I state otherwise. Okay, so let's get started. Hi to all my live viewers, and all 5 of you. Anybody want to say a quick hello with a chat message? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. I'll try to catch you later when I return from my sharing screen. I think when I share screen, I can no longer see the chat messages. All right, let's go right into the share screen mode so we can take a look at several charts. October is off to a good start so far. The Dow is up a couple of 100 points, I know that. Apple is up sharply, which is something, the stock I've been very, very high on. The highest I've been in a long time. It just has a tremendous looking chart. And it's the best performer of the FANGs. At least I think it will be going forward in the immediate future. So let's look at Cytokinetics first. Cytokinetics has had a phenomenal run from from 8/1, and its low is $6.21. It's trading mid-morning at $9.79 as of 11:09. I could do a quick update on that. It shouldn't take long. So it's hit a brick wall at around $10 a share and is backing away from that brick wall. But once it gets past that in the 1026 level, I think we could be in for a nice little move up to about maybe to the highs of the year. So I think this one has a lot of legs. It's meeting a little resistance here, but I don't think that's anything too serious. Again, the drug that it's partnering with Amgen is a heart drug for heart failure. It has a different way of different modality than the other heart failure drugs. It has to do with building muscle strength or elasticity or whatever it does. I have to read up on it more, but I know it's in 2 areas. It's in cardiac, and it's also in neurological diseases. So these are the 2 major areas for Cytokinetics. It's sort of an unknown gem, very little volume, as you can see, very little chatter about it, But meanwhile, it's been a sneaky, great performer. Look at that. I mean, you don't need to be a chartist to just take a look at that. Tremendous. So it's had a very steep ascent and now it even gone parabolic just about. So it's normal to back away a little bit from its resistance. So I expect another assault on that $10 level and this time go through it. Okay, Oncosec Medical. Oncosec Medical is not in the greatest chart formation, as it's been following this ascending line down. So it's a little scary, but I think the fundamentals are very good. It bounced off the support here at 133 nicely, coming up to its upper trend line, which is a descending line, and bouncing around between these two lines right now, which of course is in a downward trajectory. So it's unclear what's going to happen. I think it totally depends on news. As you notice, this triangle, this wedge, comes to a point at about the end of the year sometime. So sometime before the end of the year, there should be some positive news to break it out of this downward trajectory. If the news is negative, it will continue on below this line and go down further. I like Oncosec. I like the new CEO, Dan O'Connor. I like the collaborations it has with Merck on its Pisces. They call it Pisces, where Keytruda is made more. Patients who are not receptive to Keytruda are made receptive in a melanoma trial with Merck. So, and it also has some interesting intratumoral effects. So that, and it also has a very interesting delivery system. I think they call it immunopulse. So again, I have to brush up a little on my fundamentals. I rely mainly on the charts, but I know the fundamentals are strong. The last set of data on the Merck collaboration looked very, very good. So eagerly awaiting data would be where I stand on Oncosec. Looking at the chart, not that enthusiastic, but the data is where it's at. Okay, let's look at Geron. Or maybe let's not look at Geron. Okay, Geron, I want to look at Geron up here. I don't want to look at Geron down here. All right, in any event, we have to look at where it is. It's trading between the low of the last 2 days, which was 150, 155, and the open of yesterday, which was the close of yesterday, which was, where did it close yesterday? 176. So what I would hope for the rest of the day is that we don't go below the 155. Let's update this. I hope we don't go below the 155, and I hope we can come back a little bit and trade in this above that 170 area. So I'd like to get above 170 here. I don't know if that's possible. I certainly don't want to see it go below 155. We're in a period of let's say, regaining normalcy. The volume is almost normal, very normal. So we're back to normal volume and not much movement in the stock. I want to see a lot of days like that before we know that it's made a bottom and it's starting to rebuild. So, I mean, this is not a terrible number, but it's not a good number, obviously, down 15 cents. It is still above the 150 that it hit the low of the day 2 days ago. So, it's hard to be extremely positive, but there was some really nice things to look forward to that Dr. Scarlett pointed out in his conference call. So if I'm still holding Geron, I'm still holding Geron. I'm not going anywhere with it. That's my attitude. The IBB, I think this answers the question: should we be a buyer of biotechnology stocks? And the answer is yes, we should be. This has been a tremendous mover. The biotechnology ETF has been trading in a nice wedge, and it's challenging the upward trend line at this very moment. So let's see an update where we are. We were up 87 cents, we're up 50 cents, so 0.41%. That's fine. I do think this will be the next big ETF to move. I think biotechnology has to catch up with the Dow, with the NASDAQ, and with the S&P. And I think it will. I still don't love the regulatory environment that we're in. Seems like everywhere else in the world, it's easier to get a drug approved. Japan, China, even EU, which used to be harder than the FDA, is now easier than the FDA. So with the FDA, you never know, even when you're up for final approval, what the story is. Nevertheless, we have some really interesting stories in our universe of biotech stocks. I'm in a bunch of them. I'm sure you're in a bunch of them. I think part of what makes biotech so alluring is that these drugs will potentially do great things for people who are sick, great things for people who will be sick in the future, great things to prevent sickness. So you have to like the stories, you have to like the hope for the cure, especially with diseases like cancer, like progressive neurological diseases, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, ALS, and so forth. And there are drugs coming in the pipeline from many, many companies to fight these terrible diseases. And so it's a twofold law. The law is one, helping contribute to develop drugs that are going to be breakthrough drugs to cure and help a lot of people. And the other law is to make money while you're doing it. So biotech is a great story. I love biotech. I put all my discretionary funds into biotech. And yet I'm more of a computer scientist, technology guy. My background is not in biology. It's not in anatomy. It's not in medicine. It's in computer science and mathematics. Yet I am absolutely fascinated by biotechnology. So that's the story for this morning on these four names. I'll try to come back with some more biotechs later in the day. Let's see if we still have anybody to write a comment or something like that, a little chat. I'll get back to the screen. We have 3 people still on. Anybody want to say hi? Doesn't look like it. All right, so then if nobody's going to say hi, I will say until tomorrow or until later in the day, until later. I'm going to try to chat. Okay, so I chatted until later. I don't know what's wrong with my camera. Camera, come back to me. All right, sorry you can't see me. I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to say ciao. I'm going to say see you later. And camera, you've let me down. Oh, there you are. So you can see me after all if you've listened to all my chatter over the last minute while waiting for my camera to come back. All right, hasta la vista, shalom, sayonara, ciao. Keep up the good work.